Right, this is the naming review from the nearpod that we went over. I'm going to try to give you strategies for answering all these questions. So the first one, calcium nitrate. So I need to identify what the elements are and what ions they came from before I can write the chemical formula for it. So calcium is Ca, and it's in group 2, so it forms a 2 plus ion. Nitrate is one of the polyatomic ions. It's one of the no-co-SOPOs, NO3, and it's a -1. Now I bring them together. For every +2, I need 2 -1s. So I get a neutral compound in the end, and I'll get calcium. It's a polyatomic ion. I have to put it in parentheses if I take multiples, and that would be the formula for calcium nitrate. The next one, I have SO3. So it begins with a nonmetal. So sulfur is a nonmetal, and there's only one of them. So I have to use the rules for naming molecular compounds. All right. So sulfur, I just use the element. And for the second one, you always specify how many you have. There's 3 of them. The prefix for 3 is tri, and would be oxide. Okay, I have iron, and I have, which is a metal. I don't know the charge of it. Iron can form multiple charges. And I have phosphate. So let's break this compound apart. I have 3 irons, and I have 2 phosphates. Phosphate is PO4 triple minus. And if I have 2 of them, that makes -6. And that means I also have to have +6 for the iron. I have 3 of them, so each iron is +2 from that. So the name would be iron 2 phosphate. All right, I have NO2, right, with no charge. So this is beginning with a nonmetal. Nitrogen is a nonmetal. So I have to use the rules for naming molecular compounds. I have a single one of the first one, so I just write nitrogen. And I have 2 oxygens, so it would be dioxide. Okay, lead 2 phosphate. So the first thing I should do is write out the ions. I have lead 2, which is lead 2 plus, and phosphate, which is one of the polyatomic ions, the no-co-SOPOs, is this. So I have 2 and 3 ratio. My common multiple is going to be 6. So to get 6 out of the lead, I'll need 3 of them. And I'm going to need 2 of the phosphates. And it's a polyatomic ion. I have to put it in parentheses. So this would be the formula for lead 2 phosphate. All right. I have aluminum, which is the first one. And aluminum only forms a +3 charge. And the anion is carbonate, CO3, which is a double minus. So aluminum carbonate. No Roman numeral necessary. Aluminum only forms a single charge. Okay, I have iron and I have bromide. Iron has multiple charges. And bromide is a -1. Right? If I have 3 of them, that means the iron has to be +3. So I could write iron 3, bromide for the name. Okay, so I have beginning with S, which is sulfur, and there's 4 of them. Sulfur is a non-metal. It's on the right of the staircase. The prefix, I have to specify how many I have. There's 4 of them, so that's tetra, sulfur, and there's 7 oxygens, so it would be hepta, or hept, I got to get rid of the A, oxide. So tetrasulfur heptoxide. Okay. Sodium is Na. Right, so this comes from sodium +1. It's always a +1. No Roman numeral necessary. And carbonate, which is a double minus. So sodium carbonate. Okay, I have tin. And I need to see how many of them I have. So tin forms multiple charges. And I have nitrate, NO2. Sorry, I can't see that. Nitrite, which is a -1. So I have tin, nitrite, and I have 4 of them. So that means the tin is going to be a 4+. So I'll have tin 4 nitrate for the name. Nitrite, sorry. Okay, so you have to be cautious here. The ending is the IDE. Calcium is a 2+. Nitride is just the nitrogen, which is a 3-. And I need to get the common multiple, or the common denominator is going to be 6 for these. So to get +6 for calcium, I need 3 of them. To get -6 for nitrogen, I'm going to need 2 of them. And that's the formula for calcium nitride. All right, magnesium hydrogen sulfite. So magnesium is a 2+ charge. Sulfite is SO3 double minus. And if I do hydrogen sulfite, that's going to be a -1 charge. Right, so I'm adding H+ to it to get the hydrogen sulfite. So I'm going to need 2 hydrogen sulfides for every 1 magnesium. And I need to put that polyatomic ion in parentheses and have 2 of them. So this would be your formula for magnesium hydrogen sulfite. Okay, so I have N2H4. So it begins with nitrogen, which is a nonmetal. I have 2 of them, so it's dinitrogen. And I have 4 hydrogens. Hydrogen would become a hydride, and the prefix for 4 is tetra. So dinitrogen tetrahydride. So for this one, I have 10 oxygens and 4 phosphoruses. All right. So phosphorus is a nonmetal. There's 4 of them, so that's tetra. Phosphorus. And I have 10 oxygens, so it's deca, and I get rid of the A, and decoxide. So tetraphosphorus decoxide. Okay. Lithium chromate. Lithium is a +1. It's in group 1. It only forms a single type of ion. And chromate is one of the polyatomic ions, CrO4, and that's a double minus. So I'm going to need 2 lithiums for every 1 chromate. So Li2CrO4. Ammonium oxide. This is still an ionic compound. Ammonium is the only polyatomic cation, and it looks like this. Oxide is oxygen with a -2 charge. I'm going to need 2 of these for every one of these. You could think about crisscrossing the charges. And when I put that together, I have a multiple of the polyatomic ion ammonium, so I have to put it in parentheses. So this would be the formula for ammonium oxide. Okay. Again, I start with ammonium, so this is going to be an ionic compound. Ammonium's a +1 charge. And I have sulfur, which is a -2 charge.